Hey everybody, welcome to week 5. This is one of my very favorite topics, and it's one that's going to make your business duplicatable. It's going to help you to not feel like you're hauling buckets, and that's what we're all about. We want to make sure that we are not putting out work that's not going to pay off in dividends in the long run. Okay, so when you are teaching classes and you're enrolling with people, you want to keep your eye on who kind of matches your vibe. Who of the people that you meet, whether it's friends or family or people at a class that you didn't know previously, that kind of match this criteria. A lot of times people in doTERRA call it an avatar, which is kind of a silly term, but essentially what that means is you have visualized what a partner would look like for you, whether she or he is motivated, right, committed, capable of doing it, has similar interests maybe. You don't want to necessarily find someone that's exactly like you, because that's not what we're on the hunt for. We want people with different strengths, but someone who is looking for a need that needs to be fulfilled financially, and someone who is someone you're going to have to work with for a while. So you want to make sure your personalities match up a bit too. So as I go through this today, similar to the other conversations we've had, this beginning portion will be directly geared toward you. Okay, so I'm going to kind of coach you and guide you through some of the things that you need to do to prepare for the conversations you'll have and in finding builders. And then the last part of the call will be what you would say in a conversation with someone who is a potential builder for you. Okay, so let's just get right into it. And I know it's going to look familiar, but what can I say? It's Mary. So 2 tips on how to attract business builders. These are always my 2 tips, mainly because they work so well, you guys. If we can live in our diamond energy, and if we can find their pain point and solve it, we tend to have a lot more success. Okay, so in this case, finding your diamond energy when you approach a possible new builder, or maybe they've approached you and said this is something that they're interested in, is living in a space where you know where you're headed and you're confident in the future of your business in doTERRA, right? You can stand with both feet planted on the ground and know in your heart and in your mind that you are not in this just for, a short period of time, or that this is a hobby for you, but that this is a lifelong committed business and something that's going to provide your family with financial and all the other things, healing, right? It's financial healing, but it's also time freedom and all of that. So living in that space is important. And then there are some people that you're going to approach that maybe haven't brought up the fact that they want to do the business yet, and you're sort of reaching out, and you have felt in your heart, or maybe in your mind, even in your morning meditations or as you're walking around, and you receive this sort of message that, you know what, this person really would align with this community and they would just be great at this. And so you want to cultivate that relationship, and we'll talk about that conversation at the end. But essentially, when I say find their pain point and solve it, is most everybody's pain point at this point is financial, right? They want their husband works 9 to 5, and the weekends you're rushing to get everything done, and maybe she works too, or he works too. Both people in the partnership work, and so that's less time together or less time with their families. And especially in this area where I live, a lot of families are dual income just simply because of the cost of living. So finding that pain point and solving it. Okay. Oh, someone has the chat brought up here. Let me pull it up over on the side of the screen. Oh, I love this question, Crystal. Okay, she said, I'm asking now, but you can answer later. I just don't want to forget to ask. Would you recommend having a business party? Okay, so we will definitely get to that, because I love that question. And the answer is yes, but I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Thank you so much for asking that. Okay, So what are we going to do on your end? Now, this is a chance for you to kind of take notes if you can, if you're in that environment. If not, I will be sending out the recording and you can go back and listen to this. This can be something you go back and listen to over and over again as you have those conversations with people and as that comes up, okay? So use this video as a resource to you. Okay, so first and foremost, preparing your mind as the business builder in reaching out to others. You're going to begin with the end in mind, okay? You need to know where you're going. That's number one. You got to know where you're going. You got to have a vision for your team and what you would like to create and sort of the movement you would love to start within your community, because you are beginning a movement. When you begin a business with doTERRA, maybe your intention right away isn't to, revolutionize healthcare. Maybe it's just to pay for your own loyalty order. But what you've got to understand is that once you get going at this, I would say I was about a year into my business when I realized there's no going back. I thought this would just be something fun to do, but now I'm so committed and I'm so in this. My roots were so deeply planted because I saw the change it was making in people's lives. And I was ready to just kind of bring this to everybody that I could that would be open to talking to me, right? That's the key, is who's open. And those who are open will receive based on where you are and how you see your business. So beginning with the end in mind, if you do that and you're the captain of your ship and you're asking others basically to get on board with you, they've got to know where you're going and you need to know where you're going, or they won't even get on, right? They're not going to join your ship or get on your train unless you have paved this clear direction and you know exactly where you're headed. Okay. Number two is you have the cookie. I love this one. So this is what we call the posture principle. You're offering them a gift. Okay. This is not you asking them to do a favor for you. Okay. You are doing them a favor by inviting them to be a part of your team. Remember that. There will be times where you feel, especially if you have a business party, Crystal, right? That would seem like, oh, she's here trying to recruit us. She needs something from us. It is literally just the opposite. Okay? You're having this business party and you're bringing them an opportunity of financial healing. So if you're absolutely committed to hitting Presidential Diamond someday, then the people that you are approaching are receiving an incredible gift because you're inviting them to join you, and you could possibly be helping at least 6 people attain financial freedom, if not dozens of other people. Okay, so this is a big deal, and you want to find those who are committed and who are capable. The other thing about having this cookie is I love this concept, and I don't want it to come across as arrogant, but I live in this space where I don't need any one person for my business to be successful. Okay. Don't let your energy, or I should say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. Don't let all your energy be focused on one person, especially if they're not showing you the necessary qualifications, or they're not fulfilling those expectations, right? Your business is going to move forward with or without them. And if you hinge your success on this one person participating in the business, then they're very easily going to walk out the door and say goodbye. Okay. I've seen it happen with me, with people on my team, and you're all going to make mistakes. And I don't want you to feel like, oh shoot, I've been doing this with one person and now I've totally screwed it up and my business is going to fail forevermore. No, let me be really clear here and say that I have a different person in every qualifying position on my team than I did when I first started. I also have different qualifiers since I hit silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Okay, so those people can change, and they will change. Mistakes happen. You will make mistakes. Mistakes will happen on their part. This is a business, right? We love our partners. We love those we link arms with. But at the end of the day, this is your business. And if you don't align with that person, or if they're not fulfilling their end of the responsibility, okay, then there's some hard conversations that need to happen. And that's okay. You are not a failure for, making your business a priority and trying to have those tough conversations. Now, granted, we love our partners. We want our partners to know how much we love them. And we don't love them because they're doing something for us. I genuinely would lay down my life for any of my builders. And I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. Like, I pray on them. I meditate for them. I show up for them. Like, I could start crying because I love them so much. And I know how hard it is to make time in your day for doTERRA when you have a business, you have work, you have your family responsibilities, your children, your own self-care. All of these things play a part in the commitment of what your builders are committing to, right? So I'm going to talk about in just a minute how to get them to understand and make decisions based on where they're at. But the one thing you have to understand here is your business does not teeter on one single person. Okay, I hope I'm clear there. It doesn't. And you do need people to follow you, right? You need people to follow you, but you don't need any one person in particular. Whether or not any one person joins you does not make or break your business. You are the reason for the success or failure of your business. You, okay? And this will also be a part of the conversation we have with that new builder. But I just want to prepare your mind first and let you know that the success of your business is determined by what you put in and not what anyone else does for you. Okay? So if you're trying to push for rank one month and you have one leader on your team who has a lot going on that month, because seasons happen, we are not casting blame. We are not judging them. We are not angry because they have this, that, or the other going on that month. As long as they have been transparent with you and they don't just completely fall off the map and not even respond or not even give you a heads up like, hey, this is going to be a tough month, then conversations need to be had, right? But if they're upfront with you and they're telling you, then hey, you got to follow through and you got to fulfill that volume if you want to hit that rank. All right? It's always our responsibility to have a successful business. Our success, our failure is not dependent upon anyone else but ourselves. Okay? Okay, number 3, you're getting there with or without them, but hopefully with them. So when presenting the business opportunity, Crystal, this would be good in like a party setting or a one-on-one. You want to invite them to join you in the business, but they need to understand that you're going to be successful with or without them. That this is your future. This is your thing you're committed to. But if they know that you're going to get there with or without them, okay, they're going to feel a fear of loss. If they feel like your success depends on them, then they're going to walk away. Number 4, mastering the business overview. This is huge, you guys. Okay, so this right here I'll show you is the build guide. Okay, can you see it? This is doTERRA's build guide. You can get it in your back office. I have this whole thing pretty much memorized, not word for word, but page for page. I know what's on each page. I know how to talk about these things. And this is an awesome, awesome guide that I highly suggest you invest in. Okay, so last time we talked about sharing and hosting, right? And we gave that share or that host a tiny taste of what the business could look like at the end of class. But we didn't hand her a build guide unless she was like, I am all in, right? Typically what we do is we wait for that host to get that check in the mail and they'll text you, they'll reach out to you and be like, this is awesome. I just paid for my whole month's loyalty order with this class. And then you would say something like, I know, that's so awesome. Only if they align with your vibe, you would open up the conversation and say, are you open to learning more about the financial healing that doTERRA has provided me? Right? Then you could sit down and share the build guide with them. But at that point, you're not quite there yet. So you've got to master the build guide. All right. Preparing your builder. Okay. So what do you need to do to prepare them, whether it's to make that choice to start doing the business or to prepare them for success, whatever it is, in preparation to help them, you've got to get them to doTERRA events. People make decisions at events, okay? Their heart moves them to action at events, all right? just remember too that you are looking for a partner. Oh wait, I forgot to mention on number 1, introduce them to your upline too. So you're getting them to events, but you're also in introducing them and inviting them to meet someone that has mentored you and that has guided you and has inspired you. And a lot of times that can help influence them or cause them to action as well. Okay, number 2, you're looking for a partner. People go into business with people they like. People go into business with people they like, okay? So who do you want to spend more time with? And who do you want to travel with? Who is capable? Who is committed? You're not looking for a downline, right? You're looking for people to link arms with and partner with. And be the type of person that someone wants for a business partner. If you're looking for partners, you got to be that partner. And I always, if I have any kind of challenge or request for my team, like, hey, let's do this or that, you bet that I'm going to be doing that too, right? I can never ask something of my partners if I'm not doing it myself. That goes for teaching and enrolling. That goes for attending calls, attending events. Like, I want to show up and do what my part is so that others will see that their leader is not just checked out and not expecting things from them that I'm not willing to do myself, okay? 3, believe in them. Believe that they can be a diamond. Guys, this is my number 1 strength. When I took the Strengths Finders test, Strength Finders, that's hard to say, the Gallup Strength Finder, I got futuristic as my number 1 strength. Okay, so I can literally see people walking the stage as diamond, as presidential diamond, as double diamond. Like, I meet someone and I know immediately if it's going to work out for them. But here's the crazy part is sometimes I see it in people that have no desire and they're just like way far off the avatar. And I have to practice restraint from telling everybody that you would be amazing at this, because that's not true. Right? We know that network marketing takes a lot of work and persistence, and it's okay that not everyone is going to fit that criteria. Not everyone is going to be great at network marketing. Okay, I believe everyone could do it if they, had the willingness and they were committed and capable, but it's really not meant for everybody. Okay, so just be okay with that. Did I say number 3 already? Yes, believe in them. Okay, number 4, help them through the 4 decisions. Okay, so this is important. This part you got to take notes. I mean, it was all important, but these 4 decisions are really, really important when it comes to thinking about the progress or the progression of someone's business. Because these 4 decisions, if they're not made by the person that's deciding to do the business, then their time within that position is going to be very short. Okay, so you're going to confront these decisions when you commit a builder, and you will end up committing them 4 times. Okay, so understand that it takes between 5 and 7 years of consistent study and action to become a world-class professional at network marketing. It takes 5 to 7 years to become presidential diamond and be the most incredible dynamic leader. All right. It could take longer than that. It could take less time than that, but on average. So we can make money while we grow, but no matter how amazing or how hardworking we are, your empire of amazing builders and customers takes time. It takes time to build them. It takes time to help them build their own teams and duplicate their own business. It takes years. Okay, this is not a get rich quick. So the first decision that they have to commit to is the decision to get started. Okay, that's number 1, the decision to get started. I don't know if you guys feel comfortable with this, but I like to do a leadership agreement. I haven't done it with every one of my leaders, but it is really, really powerful for them to see in writing the expectations. So sometimes I haven't felt like it was necessary in meeting people because I could tell they were just so excited to hit the ground running. But then I regret not giving them that later on when they have to make the second decision. And the second decision is Once they know what they've gotten themselves into, okay, once they realize the work that is put in to this business to help it be successful and to make it an empire, the next decision is they have to keep going. They have to decide that they're going to keep doing this. Okay, so let's say they hit elite, they've got their 3,000 in volume, they're on top of the world, they're so excited. Then they get to premier and they're like, dang, this is hard, right? Because at premier, you have to maintain 2 legs of 2,000 and an overall of 5. So you have to have some structure there. That's when you start building with intention and not just having massive volume and teaching and enrolling, but teaching and enrolling with business strategy happens at premier. Okay, so that decision to keep going usually happens around elite to premier. The third decision is they have to decide to let go. This one's really powerful for me because I feel like this one happens for me still. Okay, the decision to let go is referencing things like mom guilt or their shop, their job, the things that they have to do to move forward in their doTERRA business with the things that they have to let go of. Okay, that's the dichotomy is, am I able to let go of these things because I have all these other great things over here that can really work out for me? It's a hindrance. In fact, this is what really make or breaks a leader in doTERRA. They've hit silver and they are on the brink of, because once you get premier, right, you've got these 2 legs of 2, and so you naturally want to build a third leg that will get you to silver. Now you have 3 legs of 3,000, and at silver you have all of these hopefully awesome shares, people who want to host classes for you in your community, people who know that you're the expert in the community. They come to you, maybe they want to buy retail even from you, your neighbors, because they heard about you from their friend down the street. Okay, but once you move past silver to gold, it's just like the jump from elite to premier. Silver to gold is the same ideology. You have to have precise structure skills, okay? Precision when it comes to that. Because now with gold, you need 3 premier legs, okay? You need 3 legs of 5. And those 3 legs of 5 need to have 2 executive legs each, right? So there is strategy involved with that progression. And what you need to understand is if they don't let go of what is holding them back, this is where they will stop. Silver is where they will end, and they are unable, it's a scarcity mindset, right? They're unable to see past silver. Because from silver to gold is where you grow some serious cojones. You are on the map. You are a leader and there is nowhere to go but up from here, okay? The last decision is they've hit gold and they're sticking at gold for a while. Okay, you're at gold, you have these 3 legs of 5,000, and to move from 3 legs of 5 to 3 legs of 9 is a big jump, right? So to have platinum be the next rank for you, you are going to go from having 3 premiers to empowering those premiers to become silvers. And once you do that, you have to decide to go big. Okay, go big is a decision to literally swing every single time. Okay, you are trial and error. You're out there running at full force and then you fall on your face and you get back up again and you just keep going. I'm going to try this other thing, and then you fall on your face and you keep going. Because what you're trying to do is figure out what's working, but you have to realize that not every time something is working is it going to continue to work. Sometimes something will be so great for you and you have this system and it's working awesome and it's enrolling people and it's amazing, but then it stops working and you have to reboot the brain and the mind and let go once again. That's why I said I feel like I'm always having to let go, right? You're letting go of that attachment you have to this system that was working for you before, and you have to translate that into a new system. So you're always trial and error. You're running, you're falling on your face. You're running, you're falling on your face until you realize that that's okay and that that's what's meant to be. It's going to hold you back because people are afraid to fall on their face. People are afraid of failure. I fail every single day in this business. Okay, this is not something that has come easy for me, not in the least. But it has been so fulfilling. And it has brought me so much strength, understanding, courage, leadership, and humility. All of that. It's been one of the biggest learning experiences I've ever had. I would say like equivalent to parenting, right? That like you're thrust into this thing and you think you know from seeing other people raise their kids, but you're like, oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. That's similar to doTERRA, okay? For me, I thought this would be fun. I'll host classes. I'll teach my friends. And then it turned into this business, this thing that had like a life breath to it, a living, breathing piece or entity in my life. And if I didn't nourish it and cultivate it, just like a plant, like it would die. So you've got to decide to go big, and you have to inspire your builders to do that as well. Okay, on to the next. This is for your builders, okay? This is for the conversation you're going to have with the people that are matching your avatar and show interest. Maybe they've come to you or you're coming to them, and you're deciding together, like, is this going to be the thing for them? Oops, this fell out of my ear. There we go. Okay, so the conversation looks something like this, right? You get together, maybe you're at a coffee shop and you are catching up on life, and it's one of those deep conversations that you're just excited to get into. And so you're asking questions like let's say someone was asking, well, here, Mary doesn't have to interact, but I'll just pretend like I'm talking to Mary because she's right there in front of me. Mary, what's your husband's name? Can you type it in? Tom. Okay, awesome. So I'm sitting down with Mary and I ask her questions like, can you share your slides with the video from the call? Me? Yes. Crystal, yes. My slides come in the email. Oh, you mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like share the slides outside of the call. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry. That took me a second to understand. Excuse me. Okay, so Mary and Tom, they both have 9-to-5s, and they get childcare for their child. And so I'm asking her questions like, you know, how are things going for you and Tom? Are you excited about where you're headed in your job and in your business? Okay, or in your husband's business. Maybe he owns, I don't know, a shoe store, whatever, doesn't matter. And she might say something like, yeah, like I love it, but I just wish I could spend a little bit more time with him or more time with my child. And you need to find out where they're at. Okay, so that's where they're at when she says something like, you know, I do wish I could spend more time with them. Or, you know, our goal is to someday be able to retire and get an RV and travel the country. Okay. So you're asking questions like, where do you want to be? So if you'd like to spend more time, like, how are you going to get there? What is stopping you from getting to that point? And she'll say, well, we have responsibility of like our house payment, you know, or we have other financial commitments and things like that. And you could ask this question next, which is basically, how serious are you in making a change in your life? So if you have that desire to change, if you have that desire to change your current situation, how serious are you about making that change? Okay, so that's really important to identify with them, because that will gauge for you their commitment level or possible commitment level. And if they're like, kind of like, you know, it's hard, it's a wish for a future day. Hold on, my son. No. Hi.
I didn't go to that thing. I need
okay.
to test it.
Okay.
Apples and
Go talk. I love you, buddy. Sorry. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Okay, what was I saying? I forgot. Oh, I remember. Basically, if they pull back and they're like, it's not a huge priority for me right now, like, I don't really see that happening anytime soon. I don't know how I would do something like that. Like, how could we? That's when you come in. Remember, you're finding their pain point and you're solving it. So when you come in, you're going to share your business story, which looks something like this. You're going to focus on the parts of you that connect best with them. Okay, so parts of their background that identify with parts of your background, and perhaps what you didn't like about your background and how doTERRA came in and saved the day. And of course, how your future is going to look. So I'll kind of give you a little spiel of what I would say. Okay, so I totally identify with what you're saying, Mary, and I've been there. I taught high school for almost a decade, and I definitely felt like I was hauling buckets and just living paycheck to paycheck from, paying hospital bills and childcare and all of that. It was super expensive. It was taxing, and it was also taxing on my physical and emotional health. But what I've realized and come to learn is that it didn't have to be that way. There are other ways to create an income and create a life for me and my family that feels right. Sorry, my husband just got home and it's kind of loud in the kitchen, so I hope you guys can hear me. And I got distracted again. But I love him so much. He's the best husband. You guys, he does the dishes every night, like all the dishes. See, we partner on stuff because you got to do it. When you are committing to do a full-time doTERRA business, things have to give, and that was one of them. And so I love that he's just stepped up and does it every day. Sorry, that was a side note. Okay, I'm trying to think of what I was talking about. Oh, my business story. Okay, I apologize. Forgive me. I'm going to start over. And I want it to feel as real as possible and not like I'm reading the script, because this is something that I would personally say, okay, is I would say, like I said, Mary, I was in a similar position, and I felt so frustrated by the fact that every day I got home from work, it was like I had to make dinner, I had to put the kids to bed, and get up the next day and do it all over again. And it just felt like this cycle I could never get myself out of. And I love that now that I have doTERRA as my full-time income and my full-time job and my full-time business, that I can create a schedule for myself, that I can give doTERRA as much or as little during the day as I choose. And I can have my 3-year-old home with me, and I can play with him, I can cook with him, and we get to hang out and we can be very best friends, which is so different than my relationship with my first child. As you know, I have 4 boys, right? So my first son, he started going to a daycare when he was like 9 months old, and I didn't get to stay home with him. And that was really hard. And now I'm cherishing every single moment and every single second of every day, because I get to have this time with this little 3-year-old who I am the center of his world. And I can't really say that about my first son. I think his teachers were a big part of his heart. Our friends and family who had to watch and care for him when my husband and I would work, or things like that. So what I want to say is that doTERRA has provided an enormous sense of financial healing for our family, because we no longer have to depend on, the school paying for our family to live, right? Like, I don't have to go in, I don't have to have this day-to-day responsibility in the classroom, because I can make my own schedule. And it's been really incredible. And what I love is that the path is clearly laid out for me to know exactly what I need to do to be able to have financial freedom forever, and time freedom. Time freedom where my husband, by this time next year, he won't have to work. Or if he does, it'll be, on his own terms. He wants to do pro bono work instead of be like work in a full-time law firm. So it's been empowering, to say the least, to know that we can design our lives and redream and reimagine what our future is going to look like because of network marketing and because of doTERRA. So after hearing your story and being able to align so much with what you said, would you be open to coming to my next business workshop and training? Okay, so that's kind of how you transition into that. I'm sorry for the distractions earlier. Forgive me. Okay, so now after you've invited them, the key thing is to follow up. And the thing that I want to point out with follow up is, oh, we'll get to that next slide in a second. The key thing with following up is that you want to make sure that you're in contact with them within 48 hours. So something like an email, a text message, like a text message is just a genuine message. Like, it was so great to sit down with you. I'm so glad that we share, similar interests and similar desires for things we want to do in the future. Maybe she shared with me that she wants to open up, a literacy center in some country. Maybe her family's from Mexico and she wants to, create financial freedom for other people. Who knows? Her future desires, dreams, and aspirations should be addressed in the follow-up. Like, it was so great to hear that you have this as a plan for your future, or that, it was inspiring to hear how you want to be able to give back in this way. Okay. And I would love to offer you these 3 videos to watch. And would it be okay if I followed up with you in a couple of days and had you watch these videos and kind of get your opinion about it and see what you thought? Okay. And then you want to share 2 or 3 really impactful videos with them. And I can share the links of some that I use that I absolutely love. But before you even get to that, and this slide is meant to be for within the conversation. So I kind of jumped the gun on follow up, but with resolving concerns, sometimes right then and there, before you even leave the conversation where you're at the coffee shop with Mary, she might say like, yeah, this sounds great, but I can't do network marketing, or, multi-level marketing just aren't my thing. I love doTERRA, but I'm not excited about network marketing. This is kind of where you need to listen and then restate their concerns. So say something like, yes, I totally understand that you've had a negative experience with network marketing, right? Ask questions. Tell me more about that. Tell me your experience, or what you have heard before, or why is it that you feel that way? Okay, so listen, restate, and then ask questions. Then you need to empathize with them. Like, that makes so much sense, Mary, that you would feel that way. Okay, but I used to feel that way. After being a customer for a while with doTERRA, I realized that the culture was totally different, and it was redefined. It has redefined for me what it means to be in network marketing. Okay, I'll say that again. So I used to feel the same way, but after being a customer for a while, I realized that doTERRA's culture has totally redefined what it means to be in this profession, or what it means to be in a network marketing company. Okay, so then you can give them the invitation again. Would you be open to watching these 2 videos, or is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple of days and after you talk to Tom? Okay, thumbs up if you're good with that one. Okay, now is the follow-up. So you ask what they thought of the videos, okay, and then you're going to share the 3 pathways. The 3 pathways are determining what's the next best step for them. Based on their response to the videos, if they're like, this is all great and I really appreciate you taking your time to talk to me about this, but I'm just going to continue to use the product. Great. Okay. A customer is somebody who wants to learn more about the oils. So you need to address that and say, doTERRA is made up of customers, wholesale customers, and I want to support you and educate you. So I'm so glad that I can continue to do that. Okay, so validating that that's what they want. If their response to the video was, I really love this and I want to continue hosting classes for you, but I'm not super sure yet if I want to do the business. That's great. Okay, a share, remember, is someone who would love to continue to learn about the oils, but also wants to book a class with his or her friends. And doTERRA needs sharers. doTERRA is made up of so many people that are customers and so many that are sharers. But then if she's like, my response to these videos is I loved it and I really think I kind of want to do this. I kind of do want to show up to your next business training or your next builder workshop. Okay. So remind them that a committed builder is someone who would like to learn more about the oils, book a class and schedule, but then have some strategy sessions and help with launching their business. So what are the 3 pathways? Customers, sharers, and builders. And doTERRA needs all 3 of them. Okay, these are the last two slides, and these are on getting real with them. Okay, so you're inviting them to the next business training that you're going to have, whether it's a 4-week, 6-week, or 8-week training, where you give them, homework assignments and milestones to achieve, and you're having at least one Zoom chat together every week, whether it's in a group setting with new business builders on your team or just you and her on a mentor call. Okay, I don't feel like you have to overextend yourself and have a mentor call and a Zoom call unless they require both of that and they really need some assisted hand-in-hand holding, then that's totally fine. But in the beginning, they do need to have some independence. Definitely have a Voxer with them, right? If they have questions throughout the week, yes, like let that conversation be open and let it flow back and forth. But what they need to know are these 10 things to sort of get real with them before they begin. So remind them that there will be ups and downs. Undoubtedly, there will be things that come that cause them success, and there will be failures, okay? Number 2, remind them that you are a resource, that they have you to lean on and to mentor them. Because a lot of people get hung up on this one. I felt like when I started my business, my mentor and I were kind of doing this at the same time, and we were both just stumbling and falling on our faces. But I always tell my new builders, hey, I have already gone through the dirty work, and I've learned so much from my experience of building this business on my own that I don't want you to have to make those same mistakes. So you can lean on me and I can guide you and help you in that process. But there will be things that you kind of have to figure out on your own, right? I can't teach you every lesson, but I can hopefully help so that some of those major issues that you'd come across can be avoided. Number 3 is obviously your goal is for them to become independent. Okay, that's huge. To become independent as soon as they possibly can. If it's going to take them a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, it doesn't matter. You're going to walk hand in hand with them at whatever speed they're willing to walk in this business. But their goal and your goal for them is independence. Okay, this next one is tell, show, try, do. So basically, I'll tell you each step, show you how it's done, watch you try it and give you feedback, and then you'll do it, okay? So this is kind of an interesting way of looking at it, because I feel like it's almost saying, like, hey, you're one and done. But if a lot of times, even for myself in the beginning, like I felt like I had to ask the same questions over and over again, or call doTERRA and be like, what am I doing? Because it does take time to learn the skills of the business, to learn the back office, to learn strategy. So don't be afraid to continue asking those questions and feel like, afraid to be repetitive with some of those questions. But essentially, tell, show, try, do is I'm here for you. I will show you, even if I have to show you over and over again, but you have to try it and you have to do it, right? So that's kind of the ball is in their court. Number 5, we know that it takes time, and there are timelines that are outlined in the build guide for how long it would take them to get to a certain rank, dependent upon how much time they're willing to put into the business. But typically it takes 1 year for someone to master the basic skills, make enough money to cover all their loyalty order, and cover all of their supplies. Okay, supplies for classes, supplies for giveaways, incentives, things like that. It takes about 3 years for you to be making a pretty good income, like an income that could replace yours. And this could change depending upon how much time they can put in or what kind of speed they're working at. But doTERRA's standard is it will take about 5 years for you to be a significant earner, basically covering all the income of the home and being able to save a lot as well. So having some financial freedom. And then 7 years, you're a world-class professional and you can kind of live anywhere you want and design your life. So number 6, moving on to the last slide here. Oops, what just happened? Oh, sad. My last slide did not show up, so I'm going to type it in as we go here. Love you too, Mateo. Can you hear my little guy talking? Number 6 is this takes work. as we know, right? We need to share with them. They have to hustle. Most people are not willing to work outside of a rigid structure and have been trained since childhood to respond only to others' expectations. We are driven by external forces our whole life. We think work is drudgery. But to be an amazing entrepreneur, we choose to focus on creation, contribution, purpose, and passion, and reframe our mind about what work actually means. That is so inspiring. Okay, so this takes work. Number 7, growth is key. Oops. 7, growth is key. And I like the quote, you need to become more to be more. You need to become more to earn more. Okay, so you've got to continue to grow, continue to self-develop, continue to pour into things like whether it's business coaching or Audible books that will grow your business entrepreneurial type mindset and readjust your thinking and refocus on things that maybe you didn't even think about before. Like for me, finances, my limiting belief was always money. Like I can't, make a certain amount, or I can't do this or that based on my own upbringing. So being able to adjust that and rethink some of those beliefs that are ingrained in you. Number 8 is skills. So skills will set you free. These skills are not super hard, but need to be practiced and mastered. Skills like these 5 conversations, right? Sampling and inviting, teaching a class, having a wellness consult, finding people to host, and then inviting people to build. These are skills that you have to master. And I love what Crystal said in the chat, which is she's read the guides, but she's never thought to memorize them before, but that makes sense, right? The people who are the most successful in doTERRA and the people who enroll the highest amounts of people, they don't do or say anything different than you do. The only difference is they have it memorized. Okay, they may seem confident teaching in front of a big audience or a big class or even a one-on-one, but the only reason they're confident at all of it is because it can come to them so easily, whether it's through practicing, repetition, having taught a million classes, whatever it is, they have memorized these guides. Excuse me. Okay, number 9, laser focus. Okay, laser focus leads to success. So having laser focus on activities and clearing distractions is really important. If you're sitting down to answer emails, time block, avoid distractions, and actually do it. Or laser focus when you are creating content for a class or creating content for your social media. Having these little time blocked sections of your day where you can accomplish things is going to lead to more success. So laser focus. My business life coach always says that, what does she say? Focused energy. Energy flows where attention goes. You've heard that before, right? Energy flows where attention goes. Okay, number 10 is mental toughness. Mental toughness. Be real. Know that you have to have grit. Okay, your business builders have to have grit. People will threaten them when they are moving out of their world and into another world. Okay, they're going to be threatened by that energy. And their belief and their passion in network marketing and in doTERRA will be, is threatened the right word? I'm trying to think of the right word. Like, help me. What's the word I'm looking for, Mary? Opposed? Is that right? So people will oppose your business. People will kind of give you snide comments about what you're doing. And so if you have mental toughness and grit and you are in it and you have planted your roots even deeper and you have an attitude that is relentless to prevail, then you're going to make it. Because your builders need to know that they will experience rejection and setbacks, that's inevitable. Rejection and setbacks are inevitable, okay? This is going to be, as I said before, a lifelong journey. And we just want to be as transparent as we can at the very beginning about what to expect. We don't want to poo-poo on their parade, right? We don't want them to feel like, this is never going to work out for you. This is way too hard, right? We don't want that. We want to inspire them, but we also want to keep it real. Okay, so I hope you understand the difference there, and that I'm not trying to discourage anyone from doing it. But I've just seen so many people kind of come and be so excited, and then quickly that excitement dies away because they haven't made that second decision, or I haven't inspired them to make that second decision. Remember, decision 1 is to get started, but decision 2 is to keep going. And that keep going mentality and mindset is what they're going to have to fall back on every time they have that rejection and those setbacks. They're going to have to remember why they kept going, why they're doing this, what is the foundation and their purpose of doing a doTERRA business and continuing to do one. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you were able to take some things from it, and I apologize for kind of being distracted myself, but you guys are so patient with me, and I'll take you guys off mute if you want, if you have any questions. It's not letting me unmute, and I think it must be manual on your end. Oh, there we go. Is that Mary?
Hi.
Hi. Do you have any questions, Mary?
This was a lot of great information. I'm going to definitely.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can. Uh-oh, I can't hear you again.
I'll type it in the chat.
Okay, sorry. Crystal or Cass, do you guys have any questions? Cass doesn't. Okay.
I do. Because
Yes.
I have actually thought of several things. I don't know if you can hear me very well. I'm still on my walk.
I can hear you really well. I can hear you.
Okay. Perfect. I figured that I'd keep my video off so I wouldn't look like a Spike Lee movie the entire talk. I have had a bunch of people that I was like, yes, I think you would be perfect. But like, you met my neighbor Lisa, who is still like, this is all a sham.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had other people that are like, yeah, that's nice, good for you. And that was kind of the end of it. And I'm not a person to, I don't want to use the word push, because that's what, I don't feel like that's what it is, but like, I'm not that person to ask more questions and follow up naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm the person that's like, how's your day? And you're like, today sucks. I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry. You want a hug? But I'm not going to ask you what's going on if you don't volunteer it.
Right. I feel you.
So I don't know how to get over that, to try to dive deeper with them. Okay.
My advice to you would be, they're probably not the right person right now. People that are committed to the product and they align with sort of the qualifications of your avatar are those you would want to have this conversation with. Okay. So if they're committed to the product, that's number one. Someone who's continually ordering on their loyalty order and showing up for events or excited to come to your classes, those are the kind of people that you want to partner with. And what I will say is sometimes, rarely, but sometimes those people who you're talking about and you're speaking of right now, down the line, let's say a year or two from now, when they see you successful and they see that doTERRA is paying you in dividends and that it's being a huge source of financial healing in your life, sometimes that's when they decide to get on the train. Okay? But in the beginning, especially if you're not living in the space of your diamond energy where you're owning it and honing it, I acted like a presidential diamond when I would walk into a class, even when it was like my first or second class. Like in those the first month of me teaching, I wanted to be the expert and perfectly like taught. No, like the classes were not perfectly taught, But like, I almost cringe thinking about like what I would have said and how I talked about the supplements. Like, it's crazy. I'm sure if there was a recording of it, I would delete it fast. But what I'm saying in that is living in that diamond energy is going to project a positivity that people want in their life. And that when they see that you're happy and it's fulfilling for you. And here's the thing is you already are the expert, Crystal, because you are using the product. You've hosted classes and you're here. You show up on calls. You participate on the Voxer. Like, you are here. You're in it and you're committed. And so you're doing everything you have to do. From my perspective, the only thing that you could maybe add to that is talking to those who you know are committed to doTERRA. Does that make sense?
It does, but I don't feel like I've gotten that following. Like, I haven't really gotten people enrolled, really, or people, like the people that enrolled at the party that you did for, like my sister-in-laws, neither one of them have opened their kits. And I have tried and tried and tried. I've sent them information. I've tried talking to them, or I've tried to set up a talk.
Yeah.
But they're like, I don't know if you remember which one Tiffany was, but Tiffany says that her husband just bought a bunch of Glade air fresheners. So she's waiting for them to wear out. Like,
that is
seriously? That's
so
what you thought you bought?
Yeah.
Glade air fresheners?
Well,
and I've sent them information and I've tried to, schedule as much as I can, but I feel like I can't just hound them for the rest of their lives until they do it.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. You are doing amazing. Reaching out to them and trying to follow up is awesome. Sometimes people are not open to this change yet. Change is hard. It makes people uncomfortable and they have to decide to actually do it, right? The same conversation we had about decisions in builders is the same decisions they have to make in actually using the product. So the fact that she hasn't used them or hasn't opened them says that she's not quite ready for that change. I know both of them have a ton of health concerns and they are probably resistant to that change because some people, the story they're telling themselves is this is the status quo and this is how it will always be, right? I'm always going to be fill in the blank. This is always going to be my pain. I'm just a person that has this, headaches, whatever it is, right? All the things that they said that are wrong with them, that's a movie screen that's playing in their mind over and over again. And until they decide, like the first decision was to buy it, which I was impressed that they did. So that's the first step. The second step is the biggest one, and that's deciding to actually open it up and start experimenting, even if it's just one or two things at a time. You know what I mean? And so you're doing everything you can, but you can't make people want to change. They have to want it for themselves. So I commend you for your continued efforts in trying to help. But it sounds like maybe you got to move in a different direction. And I want to say also that I hear you when you said, I don't have really a ton of committed people on the product yet. And so I wouldn't know who to reach out to as far as the business goes. I would say two pieces of advice for that. One, first thing is that I didn't have anybody doing the business with me until almost a year of doing the business. So I didn't have anyone say yes to doing the business with me until 11 and a half months of building the business on my own. Okay, so I hit silver and I got my first builder after I hit silver. The second thing I want to say to that is I wasn't talking about the business enough. So that story, my story doesn't have to be your story. My story of not having anyone partner with me for that first year, I hope is not going to be your story because I just wasn't talking about the business opportunity enough. I was keeping it to myself because I was ashamed of network marketing. I was excited about teaching. I knew I could teach. Okay, I was a high school teacher for almost a decade. I was like, I can teach. I love helping people. This is meant for me. But I was ashamed to talk about network marketing because of the stigma that I had growing up and what people thought of it. Now, after that year, so this last year and a half of my business, I have honed in on the benefits of network marketing and how smart it is for doTERRA to do this. And that there's no way you could buy doTERRA off of a Target shelf or Costco shelf and know how to use it without the education and support that we provide in our communities. So I was able to relieve myself and rid myself of that stigma of, I don't want to share about the business because I'm ashamed of network marketing. Now I own it. I'm excited about it. And I realize, and hopefully you did from today too, that this is a gift, that you are offering something to someone that is better than any other gift they've ever been offered before, right? You're inviting them to have time freedom with their family, not retiring at 65 or 70, like my grandmother, right? Or my mom, but retiring like within a couple of years. That's one of the greatest gifts you could ever give someone. And so I've rid myself of those limiting beliefs of network marketing being something I need to be ashamed of. Not that you are, but that's what I was. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, you're awesome, Crystal.
Thank you.
It's exactly an hour. I'm so impressed. Guys, that was on target. So thank you so much for going through these 5 conversations with me. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm just excited to see where all of these things kind of lead to and how we can use these conversations to benefit us in our business and have more success right here in the short term and in the long run. So love you guys. I'm gonna stop recording.